It's another beautiful day in Tampa, Florida. Big crowd filing into George M. Steinbrenner Field. Now, if you fast forward to opening day on March 30th against the Giants, this is going to be the top of the order. LeMahieu, Judge, then a little Rizzo, and after that, Stanton. You can say it. This is the big boy lineup. This is the one that's going to count. We have it for you right now. It is time for baseball. As the Yes Network presents New York Yankees baseball. Welcome to Yankee Spring Training presented by Montefiore Einstein. It's the Nationals against the Yankees today from Steinbrenner Field in Tampa, Florida. Let's take a look at today's Volkswagen pitching matchup. Corey Abbott is going to get the start for the Nationals, and for the Yankees, the guy who's battling for that number 5 spot in the rotation, Domingo Germán, in 14 starts last year, 1 relief appearance, 3.61 ERA. And there he is, starting to get loose for the assignment. When we come back, lineups, first pitch, baseball, Yankees Nationals next, right here on Yes. On Yes is presented by your local Ford stores. When it comes to putting in the work, there is no off-season. Ford, official SUV of the Yankees. For current offers, visit buyfordnow.com. Another beautiful day in Tampa, Florida, as we inch closer to the beginning of the 2023 season. Yankees have high aspirations, as they always do. The Washington Nationals, well, they are in a full rebuild. Hi, everybody. Along with Jeff Nelson and Meredith Marakovitz, I'm Michael Kay. We talked about this moments ago, Jeff, that this is the top of the order that you could see at Yankee Stadium against the Giants on March 30th.
It is, and it's exciting to finally see them out in spring training early. You know, a lot of times they'll probably get a couple at-bats today with Judge and Stanton, and you have LeMahieu at the top. Nice to see him back. You really hope that he stays healthy throughout the whole entire spring training. Elected not to have surgery on that foot and wanted to rehab it. Says he feels good, but this is exciting to see this kind of lineup this early in spring.
Now, this is the Yankees' 6th spring training game. They're 3-2 to this point. This is the first time that LeMahieu, Rizzo, and Stanton have played, and it's not because of injuries. Veteran players, Jeff, and I think Aaron Boone has enough time. They're not going to the WBC. He wants to ease them in. This is why it took until today to put them in the lineup.
Their first workout was the 20th, so the position players reported on the 20th. Next thing you know, you have a game on the 26th, 6 days away. So I don't think that's enough time. I was there a couple days watching the live batting practice, and obviously I think the hitters were behind a little bit. It wasn't back when in our day when you had, you didn't start spring games until March 1st, March 2nd, right. And the season didn't start until about April 4th. So you had about 10 days of full workouts when you had the position players and the pitchers together. Now these guys are reporting on the 15th, 16th, and the 20th is the position players.
All right, so the Yankees have taken the field. Let's take a look at the Nationals starting lineup, which is brought to you by Citizens Bank. And not many names that you're going to know right here, to be frank with you. C.J. Abrams, the shortstop, he was one of the main people that they got in return for Juan Soto from San Diego. Alex Call on left, Luis Garcia at second, Meneses at first, Garrett in right, Vargas at third base, Adams will catch, Derek Hill plays center field and bats 8th, Lucius Fox is the DH, and he's batting 9th, and they will face, at least first time around, Domingo Germán.
Yeah, Domingo Germán, I think this is his time. Last year was banged up a little bit, pitched in the second half. You see the stats right there, and I think he's going to be a key member, and I think he probably could get that 5th starter role. Let's go over the scouting report. Good mix, fastball, curveball, change. He does mix it up well. A hitter cannot really sit on one pitch and stay healthy. Like I mentioned, he didn't pitch until the second half last year. He was banged up in the beginning of the year, started in July. An opportunity with Montas going down, he has an opportunity to be the 5th guy. I think he'd much rather start than be one of those swing guys and be in the bullpen. And how about that? Number 0. I think that's what he wants to throw up, a bunch of goose eggs.
Oh, I see
you don't
what
see
you did
a lot of guys number 0.
No, last one was Adam Ottavino. Yankee defense, Hicks, Bader, and Judge. That's left to right in the outfield. Infield, it's Donaldson, IKF, LeMahieu, and Rizzo. 3rd to 1st, Higashioka behind the plate, catching Germán. Really, the only difference from the opening day lineup is probably Trevino behind the plate. First pitch is swung on and lofted into left center field. Moving over is Hicks. Right behind him is Bader. Hicks makes the catch. 1 pitch and 1 out. Talking about the sun, that field in Tampa is laid out geographically the same way as Yankee Stadium, so that the sun's going to hit you in almost the exact same way, the exact angle for a 1 o'clock game or a 6:30 start.
Right, the left side of the infield, and also Aaron Hicks, you saw him with the shades. They're the ones that are going to see that sun more so than maybe the right fielder and also the right side of the infield.
Adam Beck is the home plate umpire. Mark Wegner at first, Vic Carapazza at second. Brendan Miller is over at third, and Alex Call gets clipped right around the belt as he's hit by a pitch by Herman, and he'll take first base. You know, they're playing with the new rules and the clock. We'll see exactly where it got him. I guess the blousy shirt, so that's the best way to get hit. But yesterday they played at the Disney Park against the Rays, and that is not fitted with any timing devices because the Rays don't train there usually. They had to go there because a hurricane had hurt their other stadium. So they played without the clock, and it still took 2:30, so it's starting to become muscle memory, Jeff, for people playing, and it's early now.
Right, 12-0 game as well. Spring training is always usually a little quicker. You don't see a whole lot of marathon games. You don't see the pitching changes that you are going to see during the regular season in the middle or late innings when the manager will come out and he'll change pitches. That's going to cause a little time or add a little time. They don't do that in spring training, so usually it's a little quicker. But with the time clock, what are we seeing? What our first game was, what, 1:19, 1:16, and about 1:30 or 2:30. So it's been pretty quick here early in spring with that pitch clock.
0-1 on Garcia. Grounded foul. 0-2. Now Herman is battling Clark Schmidt for the number 5 spot. Davey Garcia on the outside looking, although he's impressed so far. But it looks like it's Schmidt or Herman. Either one could be a swing man out of the bullpen. That doesn't make the number 5 spot. And that spot opened up, as Jeff said, because Montas had the exploratory shoulder surgery. They're hoping to get him back maybe in August or September. Just misses outside.
And these two are going to be important in that bullpen, whichever one winds up getting that spot and then going into the bullpen. Because if you look at it, and how many innings the starters threw, well, you had Cole, who was over 200, and then after that, the new addition Rodon, he had about 178. Severino only had 102.
Grounded to first. Rizzo's going to step on the bag. Moving to second is Alex Call.
So you're going to need those middle guys to eat up some, especially early, because they don't leave. You know, talking to Matt Blake, Cole will wind up leaving spring close to 100. Everybody else, maybe Rodon close to 100 pitches, but usually around 75 to 85 pitches, these guys will be leaving spring. So that middle of the bullpen is going to be very important for the Yankees.
Here's Joey Meneses. Now, Jeff mentioned that Herman is sporting 0 on his back. He used to be number 55. It's still on his glove, as you can see. The reason he gave up 55, Rodon wanted it. So he took number 0. 0 is really not a number. Bob Shepard would tell me that, so he took 0. That one is lined into center field, and diving and making the play is Bader for the final out of the inning, saving a run. No runs, no hits, no errors, and one man left on base. Good jump for Bader to take a base hit away from Meneses. It's the Nationals nothing, and the New York Yankees coming to bat.
When the prize is our...
Second base leads off, batting second, playing right field, Aaron Judge. Anthony Rizzo at first. Giancarlo Stanton, the DH, is going to clean up. Josh Donaldson's at third, batting fifth. Batting sixth, the center fielder Harrison Bader. Aaron Hicks in left field will bat in the 7th spot. Catching is Kyle Higashioka, and Isaiah Kiner-Falefa is the shortstop, and he is going to bat 9th. Corey Abbott on the mound for the Nationals.
Yeah, you see last year, 9 starts. You know, this is a very young team, like you said earlier, Michael, a rebuilding Nationals team, 107 losses last year. Walk this way, if he wants to crack this rotation, 25 walks in only 48 innings. He's got a cut piece. He throws it a lot. Fastball, cutter, fastball about 91, 92. He throws his cutter about 30% of the time and then takes spot. I mean, there's a lot of opportunity here for some of these young players, and especially Corey Abbott. You have Josiah Gray and Patrick Corbin. How about the year Patrick Corbin had last year for the Nationals? He had 31 starts, had a 6.5 ERA. So a lot of these guys looking for bounce back seasons, as well as the whole Nationals team.
So here's LeMahieu. The right big toe was a problem for him last year, and also the toe next to that. There was a little bit of a cracked bone and a ligament issue. And he went to a lot of specialists, and they gave different kind of advice, but he decided to rehab because there's no sure thing with the surgery either. And, Jeff, I would say that keeping him healthy is one of the biggest jobs the Yankees have this year.
You're absolutely right, and I know he spent a lot of time in spring training.
See the defense: Cal, Hill, and Garrett, left to right. Vargas, Abrams, Garcia, and Meneses. Adams behind the play catching Abbott.
I know being down there that they said DJ was over at the minor league camp right from the beginning, right? Almost right after the season. He wound up staying in Florida.
Aaron Judge right back to Abbott. First pitch swinging, 2 away.
To be able to rehab that foot and stay healthy. He didn't elect for surgery, and I think that's why we're going to look at Giancarlo Stanton. I mean, soon he's the DH, but I think he's going to wind up playing a little bit more outfield because you're going to need that DH role probably to put DJ in on occasion to get him off his feet. Now the second base, he's at second base today. You're going to need more range because you don't have the shift, so he's going to have to cover a lot more ground out there. So
and the Rizzo clubs one down the right field line, but foul.
The speed up rules are swinging at the first pitch.
Unbelievable.
Get me over first pitch fastball, and they're crushing it.
Rizzo, a free agent at the end of last year, re-signed with the Yankees and then actively recruited his buddy Judge to come back as well. The two of them have become fast friends and real leaders in the clubhouse. Still 0-2.
Rizzo hit 224 last year, and now the shift has been eliminated. I think that's going to benefit him even better. You know, you're taking that guy out of the shallow right field. You have to have, you see CJ Abrams, the shortstop, he is playing a little bit more towards second base, but I think there's going to be more hits that Rizzo. He's not going to change his approach. He's not going the other way. You see the infield there, and you see the second baseman. He's over more towards first. The first baseman's covering the line a little bit, Meneses. But you're going to see a lot more base hits up the middle, and that shallow guy in right field is really going to help, or not being there is going to help Rizzo.
Yeah, they've done statistical analyses of players and who would benefit most from the shift restrictions, and Rizzo's right at the top of the list, that he will get a lot more hits that were taken away because of the extra man on the right side. Strike 3. Rizzo down looking. So the Yankees go down in order. 1, 2, 3 in the first. We played 1, 0-0 on Yes.
'Cause it's the main event.
Might call those the happy days. Games were 2 hours and 30 minutes long. Last year, it went up to 3:07 an average game, and more importantly, every 3.9 minutes a ball was put in play. That's 4 minutes with no action. Back in the 1950s, it was 2.5 minutes between balls put in play, and that's what they're hoping to change with the pitch clock.
Yeah, and a lot of it, the hitter stepping out, you know, a number of times. They're only allowed to step out once now, and they have to be in the batter's box within 8 seconds. I think you're going to see a lot more strikes from the pitchers as well. I think they have to pitch. It's none of those, I'm going to light up the radar gun. I'm going to have to work the ball in and out. I think the velocity may go down just a little bit because of it.
Stone Garrett fouls it back as we start off the second inning.
I mean, 1950s, they played with one baseball. And they're going out of the stadium or in the stands and going to get it so they can play with it again.
Swing and a miss. 0-2. Yeah, that's the interesting thing about the pitch clock. You know, people say, well, they're changing the game. Well, they're not really changing the game. They're trying to bring the game back to what it was. They're just trying to get more action and increase the pace of play. Because if you look at a game, let's say from 1970, feel free, call it up on YouTube. That's how the game was played. The pitcher stood on the mound, threw the ball. You didn't step out of the box. And if you want to know the difference between then and modern baseball, is remember Mike Hargrove, who ended up managing the Indies? When he was a player for the Texans, they call him the human rain delay because he'd stand out of the box, and Garrett fouled that one off and he's hurting right now. He'd stand outside the box and he would readjust his batting gloves, and we remarked about how he was a human rain delay because it was so unusual. But then it became the thing. Nomar Garciaparra went through all of that with his batting gloves. Chuck Knobloch, all players, they just took a long time. Bernie Williams, who played the national anthem before the game today, he was very slow in the box too. I think they're just trying to get people back into the box and the pitcher on the rubber.
Right, and it's not so much the pitcher. Now, when the relievers come in, you're going to see they're the ones that probably take a little bit more time in between pitches. But you're right, and we did the game on Monday night. You were talking about Max Scherzer when he said, "Oh, I can actually use this to my advantage," and I was thinking about it a little bit. He might be the only one to be able to use the advantage, because there's a lot of pitchers that it's very hard to sit there and hold the ball without, okay, if I'm going to hold the ball, then all of a sudden you start thinking about everything, and usually when you're holding it, you're trying to keep the runner at first base close and you're stepping off. Usually when you're on the mound and you get your sign, you're ready to go right away. And it's really tough to be able to hold and look at that clock and say, oh, now I'm going to start my motion, and then the clock shuts down. So you might get a couple guys that have that thought process at Scherzer, but not too many. They're on the rubber and they're ready to go.
Well, Herman's ready to go. He's just waiting on Garrett, who finally trying to walk it off.
And you're going to see a lot of guys, and I just looked at Herman's belt. He has the pitch comm on his belt, and the pitchers will call their own pitch. You'll see it right there, just a little bit. There it is on the screen. And Severino had the same thing. He had it, and usually it came from the catcher. Now the pitchers are experimenting with it, and I think they like it. And watching a little bit of the Red Sox Marlin game last night, Kluber was on the mound, and he was saying on an interview that he winds up calling the pitches before he even gets on the rubber.
Right.
So that way he can cut down some time instead of, oh, I'm gonna get the sign, or I'm gonna give him the sign while I'm on the rubber. He'll do it while he's walking around.
Well, we had the game, as you said, on Monday, and boy, is Garrett in a lot of pain. Talking with the manager, Davey Martinez.
I don't think he fouled that off in a great spot.
Well, Luis Severino said that he loves having the pitch comm. He said, I wish I had it before. I think a lot of pitchers will like it.
Well, I think most pitchers should know exactly what they want to throw, not just that pitch, but maybe the next pitch as well, to set up. Have an idea what they want to do with the hitter instead of always constantly going off of what the catcher calls or shaking them off. Now, there still are some guys in the big leagues that go old school, and you'll see the signs down because they just don't like the pitch comm. But I like the idea that they know exactly what they want to throw.
1-2. Swing and a miss. Garrett down on strikes. Now, Meredith Moragovitz, you spoke with pitching coach Matt Blake about Domingo Germán, didn't you?
I did indeed, Michael. But before I get to that, just another note on the pitch comm, what you guys were talking about on the belt of several pitchers that we saw. That's not actually going to be available, or they're undecided whether or not that is going to be available come the regular season. They think it is going to be, but this is more a trial and error process to see whether or not it works, whether or not pitchers like it. So they'll make that decision at the end of spring training. So that's something to watch out for. As far as Domingo Germán is concerned, Matt Blake told me that he came into spring training this year in a great place, both mentally and physically, and he thinks he's maybe even a little ahead of schedule right now, and that just tells him that the work has been incredibly consistent this offseason. One thing that the coaching staff spoke to Germán about and they'd like him to work on a little bit is his breaking ball to lefties, so keep an eye on that. A couple lefties in the lineup. Not quite sure how long Germán is going to go today, but this is his first outing, so don't expect too many innings out of Domingo.
Thank you, Meredith. And Meredith also spoke with DJ LeMahieu before the game, and we'll hear from DJ as we move along. 1-2. Fly ball, center field. Right there is Bader. 2 away.
Well, as far as lefties, he's not Germán's not a strikeout guy. He's more of a contact pitcher, and really utilize that fastball or that changeup down and away. I think he has to be a little bit more consistent with the fastball inside, get the lefties more aware of that, because the breaking ball, a lot of times he'll get under it and he leaves it up in the zone. There's a few times when he does stay back. The strikeout to Garrett was a really nice breaking ball down and away. But to lefties, you want to try to get it on the back foot. You might see him backdoor it on occasion to a left-hander.
The 0-1 to Adams. 1-1.
Because as you can see, he really falls off to the first base side. So for him to be able to throw strikes and be able to throw inside, he just has to stay over the rubber a little bit more. You'll watch his windup and how he falls off. And sometimes that'll open you up too much.
1-2.
And there you can see that he goes right to his belt before he even gets on the rubber to call the pitch. Saves time.
Fouled away. I mean, there are certainly things that would be tweaked and an adjustment level for fans and players, but I'm not quite sure why anybody wouldn't like this, just to quicken the pace of the game.
There's a good job right there. And then you can see how he really whips around and falls to the first base side.
Swing and a miss on the curve. And a 1-2 inning for Herman as he strikes out 2. We'll go to the bottom of the second. Yankees nothing. Nationals nothing. Right here on Yes. Battle of the Boroughs as the Brooklyn Nets take on the New York Knicks in a pivotal showdown. Coverage begins at 7 with tip-off shortly after 7:30 on Yes and streaming on the Yes app. So that 6th spot, actually the 5th spot in the Eastern Conference, is going to come into play with this matchup between the Nets and the Knicks. The Nets lost last night to the Bucks. The Knicks beat the Celtics on Monday, so they meet tonight. We go to the bottom of the second, Nationals and the Yankees. It'll be Stanton, Donaldson, and Bader against Abbott.
The Nets have what? The Celtics coming in soon, right? This next game, I think, not after the Knicks in the Barclays Center?
Not quite certain. Celtics on Friday, yes.
I'm in town. Anybody hooking me up with tickets?
I'm sure that they do you really proud if you asked. Have you ever been to Barclays?
Once.
Nice.
I saw a net game. I don't know who.
Oh, that game's in Boston, so you have to go to Boston.
Oh,
I'm sure you have friends there.
Yeah.
Especially in the Fenway bullpen.
Yeah, great friends.
2-1. Hit sharply off of Abbott. Caroms toward the line. Abbott picks up and flips to first to get Stanton for the first out. Let's see if Abbott's okay. That hit him pretty flush.
That'll leave a mark. That's a good way to slow the game down a little bit. Just get drilled. This is a BB. Hanging slider. Actually, it was a cutter up. Hopefully it didn't get him in that knee and it just got him off the thigh.
He was giving up on that, but then he realized Stanton wasn't running too well there and then picked it up and got the out.
Yeah, a cutter that didn't cut and hit him right off that thigh. And this is one of the reasons why they have the bigger bases, because that play up first base, you'll see a lot of runners will run into the first baseman, especially that glove, and kind of alleviates some of those injuries.
You know, I was wishing they would do when they changed the rules. He's going to take a couple to the mitt to see if he's okay, like they have in Little League.
The breakaway bag?
No.
Oh, the one bag
expand the
on the
base into
outside?
foul territory, because you're asking runners to stay in that lane, Jeff. It's almost physically impossible to do that. You've got to hit the bag with your left leg. It's gymnastics to do it. If you just had the bag expanded, it wouldn't be.
Yeah, see, it goes on the outside. Yeah, you throw that, you might as well put a keg of beer down the bottom, you know, first base and second base as well.
Why not, right? Yeah. Central Park.
Yeah.
So here's Josh Donaldson. You know, Donaldson had a great year defensively last year. There was no denying it was a mystery why he wasn't in the final 3 for the Gold Glove. But he did not have the offensive year that he wanted, nor what the Yankees expected. Just 15 homers, OPS of 682. And Aaron Boone has said it over and over. He said there's more in there. And he felt the abbreviated spring training last year and the lockout probably adversely affected Donaldson. He's more ready, he feels, to do the damage he'd done previously.
Yeah, I'm a fan. I love the way he plays. I love the edge that he has. I love what he brings to a team. You know, sometimes, just like you mentioned, the lockout putting on the pinstripes for the first time, there's a lot of pressure. It's not like going to play somewhere else where he was in Minnesota or Toronto. New York's a totally different animal, and you know, he hit 207 at home. I think he can. I think he's someone that can get close to the 270 mark, maybe a little bit over. I'm sure he's expecting more. Hit you 25, knock in 80. I'm sure anybody will take that, along with that great defense at third.
3-2.
I like the way he plays. I hope he has a bounce back year. I mean, he's a great guy. Every time I'm in there, he's always talking to me all the time. So I'm a big fan of Donaldson.
3-2. Just a bit upstairs as Donaldson works a walk, Yankees first base runner. So now you have the 20-second pitch clock, and that'll bring up Bader, runner on base, and you have 2 throws over. And if you don't get him into 2 throws, the next one you make has to pick off the runner, and if you don't, it's a balk. There's a strike.
I wonder if the Yankees will ever experiment during spring training and leading Bader off.
You like his speed?
I do. You know, he's a guy that can steal you bases, good contact hitter.
Slider outside, 1-1. Well, in the postseason last year, he certainly announced himself. 5 homers and 6 ribbies with a .333 average in 9 games. He did everything you could possibly want him to do. Great OPS, 1.262. If that was a portent of things to come, the Yankees would be thrilled. Today batting 6th in the order. Came over from the Cardinals in the deal for Jordan Montgomery. Opened some eyes. Yankees gave up a top flight, middle of the rotation, maybe number 4 type starter in Montgomery, a left-hander, homegrown, but they like Bader so much. And they knew that they were a little short in center field.
And just like you saw the previous inning, he's going to do a lot of that. He lays out for balls. I've watched him covering the National League when he was with the Cardinals. He's a terrific center fielder. He gives up his body a lot. He'll crash into the walls. You'll see him dive quite a bit, make some outstanding throws. Not a bad arm either out there in center.
The ever-present mouth guard. You know, when the Yankees had the big press conference to announce the signing of Aaron Judge, it's actually at Yankee Stadium, right down the alleyway from the Yankee clubhouse, and Bader showed up. You know, he was working out at the stadium. He showed up, and he was wearing the mouth guard.
Was he really?
As he was watching the press conference. Yep.
I saw Bader in quite a few spots. You're talking about he was at the Barclays Center in the first row, Madison Square Garden in the first row. Watching the Rangers and Knicks. Any opportunity he had to get in the paper and on TV on the celebrity cam, you saw Harrison Bader.
Well, he is from Bronxville, so he's familiar with the area, and it's a hometown kid.
And why not?
Playing center field for the Yankees. Check swing, did he go? Yes, he did. First base umpire Wegner said he went around.
Yeah, maybe just a little bit too far.
Yeah, we're right here getting to give our wire service. Somebody so they suppose images are imagined. The USA.
So here's Aaron Hicks. Now, at the beginning of the game, snap throw to first, and people say you're going to see a lot more of that rather than pickoffs because that doesn't count as a disengagement from the pitcher. So you can do that as much as you want. So we'll see a lot of catchers showing off their arm and trying to throw behind a runner. Anyway, we told you at the beginning of the broadcast that this could be your opening day lineup. Now, it's the bottom 3 that could be different. Is Hicks going to win the left field job? Well, he's got a lot of people he's battling. Higashioka, in all likelihood, is going to be backing up Trevino. And then the shortstop position is up for grabs. Peraza, Volpe, and Isaiah Kanafalefa. But today, it's Hicks, Higashioka, and IKF.
And eliminating the shift, Hicks is another player that it's going to benefit. And I still think that Stanton's going to find his way maybe 4 times a week in the outfield. I know that he expressed that he'd rather be out there. He's, you know, as far as more interest in the game or more focus in the game. A lot of times when you're taking a regular position player, you see the time in left field. How many Yankees were in left field last year? Sometimes it's tough to adjust to that DH role. All the time in between, you don't get to go out to the field and maybe forget that at bat, and you can contribute another way defensively.
1-2 on Hicks. One, two, inside.
I think the one thing that I saw with Hicks over the last few years, when he does get in a 2-strike count, he never really shortened up his swing. I mean, he would swing like it was 3-0 all the time. And hopefully in spring training this year, maybe the elimination of the shift, you see him choke up right there, maybe a little bit more contact.
Knuckle curve misses low and inside. Count is full at 3-2. So Donaldson will go from first, 3-2 and 2 outs. Popped up left side. Let's see who's going to get it. And it's the shortstop Abrams making the play for the final out. No runs, no hits, no errors. 1 man left. We go to the 3rd inning. Both along with us right here on Yes. Einstein, state-of-the-art healthcare in New York City, Westchester, and the Hudson Valley. Looks inviting. One of those chairs, looking out over the water, a little suntan. Now that's starting early. That is the youngest Judge fan, I think, of all time.
He or she, very tiny.
Keep that hat on. Got to start them young, Jeff.
You do. Absolutely.
Got the cars.
Ingrained the Yankee fan, the NY.
Matchbox cars and Yankee baseball. That's a childhood right there. Here's Hill as Herman comes out for the 3rd inning. There's a strike.
With the new pitch clock, they'll be able to stay awake the whole game.
Yes. And they won't grow older. Significantly. You know, there was an interesting primer today on SI.com by our friend Tom Verducci. And there are some pitchers, I don't remember if you did this, they throw a pitch and then come halfway to home plate to receive the ball from the catcher. And he said that's not a good idea anymore, because once the catcher or the umpire gives you the ball, the clock starts. So you almost, if you did that, you would go halfway down to the catcher, you'd have to turn around before you receive the ball, because you'd be robbing yourself of time. All these little things people have to think of now.
Right, I think I was one of those guys that did that. As soon as I threw, I went down almost to the grass.
Right.
And that way it gave me a little time to either rub up a new baseball or figure out what I was going to throw next.
Well, this is the 3rd game we've done. I don't believe that we've had any kind of infraction from pitcher or batter.
No, I don't think so either. The hitters are getting in the batter's box a little bit more, or a little quicker. Pitchers are ready.
Now, see, the hitter has 1 timeout per bat. After that, it's the discretion of the umpire. He doesn't want to put the hitter in danger in case something flies in his eye or something like that, but he doesn't have to give you time after that. That one's chopped to 3rd, Donaldson. A high throw off the glove of Gallo, and that will allow Hill to reach on the E5. Looks like he got hurt. Well, that's the last thing you want to do at any point, but in spring training, Aaron Judge checking on him.
Yeah, it looks like as soon as he hit that bag,
He didn't get hit.
I don't know if it was a hamstring. Seen a lot of fluke injuries coming up early in spring training. How about Joe Musgrove? Broke his big toe in the weight room.
Saw that.
Out 2 to 3 weeks. You have Tyler Glass now out 8 weeks. The Rays hoping to get him back.
That was an oblique, right?
Right. When we played, I didn't even know I had an oblique. All of a sudden, it's like a popular. What is the oblique? I didn't even know I had one.
Kind of the side, but you know, David Wells had it right. He said you can't pull fat.
No.
And then former Yankee Aroldis Chapman fell down in his apartment, split his lip open, and got stitches.
Cracked a tooth.
Yeah. It's going to be a tough season for the Nats. You know, Jeff mentioned they were 55 and 107 last year, and I mean they won a World Championship in 2019. That's a world away from now. They are really in full rebuild. National League East is good, Jeff, so they're going to struggle, and you don't need any kind of injuries. And let's take a look at what happened to Hill. Right there, right before the bag.
Right before the bag. Could have been a hamstring. I mean, especially a good young team. You're looking to try to get a spot. You see him running hard down the line and looked like about 6 feet before the bag.
So rather than walk all the way back to the third base dugout, Hill will have a shortcut through the Yankee bullpen, and then a cart could meet him in the runway underneath the stadium, and that would take him back to the Nationals clubhouse.
Yeah, it's tough. Like I mentioned, they try to make a team. You're trying to impress the coaching staff, and early in the spring, an injury that could put him out the rest of spring training.
So we have a pinch runner, and James Wood pinch runs for Hill. Swing and a miss. Lucius Fox is the DH in this one. Getting that high strike call there, 0-2.
And you mentioned a pitch clock, and that's not reviewable. So and this could happen during the year, that all of a sudden the pitch clock winds down. The umpires will have a buzzer on their wrist, a buzzer on their belt, and once that expires, then they come out from home plate. A pitcher could deliver the ball. Hitter could swing. All of a sudden, you hit a home run, the ball in the gap, and all of a sudden that was a violation. That ball's coming back. That play doesn't happen, and it's not reviewable. Now the shift, those are reviewables. You can review those.
You can see that Herman took that down to 2 seconds. Now with the clock, you don't have to deliver the ball within 20 seconds. You have to start your motion to deliver the ball. So if you lift your leg, then you're in compliance. Tries to pick off Wood.
And for a pitcher, you're going to have to vary your moves because of that time clock. I mean, it's not used to be able to hold and hold and hold and wait until that hitter calls timeout because you want to get that runner flat-footed or see if he makes a move, the idea if he's going to steal a base. You're not able to do that right now. So you're going to have to vary your moves because of that time clock. The base runner, if he's good enough, he's going to watch that. And if you're in a pattern, every time you lift your leg at 6 seconds remaining, he's going to wind up taking off.
Herman sitting at 34 pitches right now. Strike three. Fox down looking.
really good fastball on the inside part of the plate, and Meredith mentioned about him facing lefties early, and that's what he needed to work on. Watch where Higgy sets up, and great fastball on the inside part of the plate and down.
And that's it. That will do it for Herman. A strong inning and a third for him with 3 strikeouts, and they go to the bullpen. Stay right here. Nothing. Ford stores. One of the back fields at the Yankee complex, Steinbrenner Field. Across the street is the minor league complex on Himes. Across Dale Mabry Boulevard, so everything is compacted for the Yankees. Greg Weissert, last year, 1.69 ERA in Scranton, the Yankees AAA affiliate. With the Yankees in 12 games, 5.56. He struck out about a batter per inning. Opponents hit 146 against him. He's got good stuff. That ERA is kind of bloated because the first game he really struggled, seemed very nervous and out of it, but worked to get it down after that.
Yeah, he does have good stuff, and he comes from this little sidearm angle, hides the ball really well. You can see how he sets up right there. Throws a slider, fastball about 94, 95. A lot of fastballs, sliders, and can really be tough on right-handed hitters.
Now he's going to have to be careful because the way he taps his foot, if he does that before he comes to the set, it's going to be a balk. There's a real crackdown on that, but he does it before he comes to the set at the belt. That one's fouled away.
And it's also using up a lot of time as well.
Yep, you're right. Runner was going, fouled away.
It's going to be tough for some of these pitchers to get used to because they're going to, like you mentioned, cracking down, and you see how he taps. He goes one, then he'll go almost, his number is facing the hitter. About some of these guys like a Kenley Jansen changing a little bit. I mean, you're so used to the routine and how you set up and get ready to throw the ball.
Well, the pitcher for the Astros, Garcia, he has to change his whole motion because he used to rock back and forth with the hand, and that's not allowed anymore. So I saw a video of him the other day, and it's changed completely. That was a timing device for him. He can't use it.
Right.
And as you said, it also takes up a lot of that clock. Ripped through the right side for a base hit. Judge Fields. Moving to third is Wood. So it's a single for Abrams, and it's first and third with 1 man out.
And last year, that's probably an out. With a left-handed hitter, you probably have the second baseman. You see how LeMahieu is set up. That ball goes right in that hole. You might have LeMahieu play a little bit more closer to first base and shortstop up the middle.
Remained on his feet after losing his balance. He gets the third. Here is Alex Call. That clips the outside corner, 0-1.
It's bigger bases. You got to get used to hitting them right.
Alex hit by a pitch in the first inning. Kind of got the blousy part of his uniform top, right around the belt. All right, so he's down to 1 throw now. And it's interesting to note that with runners on the corners, if he throws over again, doesn't get him, and then you balk by throwing and not getting him a third time, that allows the runner at third to score. Trying to bunt. That was a safety squeeze. Well, he got him on the hand. Count 0-2.
So far, rough 2 at-bats for Call. Good hit, and then all of a sudden take one off the fingers.
Been a rough 3 innings for the Nats.
Yeah, you might wind up seeing pitchers just throw over once and keep that second one in their pocket. You mentioned that earlier in the broadcast. I'm going to try to promote more base stealing.
B-0-2. Up the middle, grabbed by LeMahieu. There's one on the first. Not in time. Call beats it out. That allows Wood to score, and the Nationals take a 1-0 lead.
A really nice turn by DJ. You see the little flip. Nice turn by IKF, and Call just runs a little bit too well to break up that double play. And with those bases, the extended bases, that's what you're going to see. You may have got him out, maybe with the 18 or the 15-inch base, not sure, but I think it's going to be a lot less double plays this year with the 18-inch bases.
And the 18 square inches means that first base is 3 inches closer to home plate than it was before. And the distance between first and second and third is now 4.5 inches shorter as well. Runner goes, they throw to second, not in time. Alex gets the call. Stolen base.
Well, the one thing that will help is the middle infielders is using that big base. There you see the jump by Call. Weiser does take a little bit of time with that delivery, with that leg lift. A little slow to the plate. Runners will get a good jump, but it'll help the middle infielders as far as using that big base to their advantage. They can sit back on the back of that base and be able to turn a double play a little bit easier and not have to worry about that runner coming in out. There's the pizza box.
I've had bigger pizza boxes than that.
It's a medium.
Yeah, it's a medium pie. But where's the layup, Jeff? That's what I want. Where's the layup? Where is Papa John's or Domino's or Pizza Hut? Where is it? You got to sponsor the bags.
Now, yes. It's another opportunity.
Swing and a miss. Garcia down on strikes. Well, the Nationals get a run on 1 hit, 1 error, and 1 man left. We go to the bottom of the third.
Oh, what a good time we will.
Talking to Rortvedt today, and it caused a circulation issue in his hand, and one of his fingers is still a little bit blue. It's not the normal temperature yet either. Kind of weird. They eventually figured out that it was indeed an aneurysm, so thank goodness they found that. He is going to not do any baseball activity for the next month, and Austin Wells fractured one of his right ribs, so he's out 6 to 8 weeks as well.
Off the bat of Higashioka as Wood runs it down. I mean, it's a terrible break for Wells because, again, Jordan Weems is the new pitcher for the Nationals because Higashioka is going to the WBC.
Right.
Rortvedt is now out for a while. And Wells, who the Yankees know can hit, they want to take a good look at him catching. He's not going to be able to play for 6 to 8 weeks.
How'd they say fractured rib?
For him. I don't know how he got it, but he has a fractured rib.
Yeah.
And Jeff, it actually took a little while. He wasn't sure what it was. He's actually a little bit relieved that it is just a fracture. He said that's probably the best case scenario of some of the other things that they thought it potentially could be. And while he's definitely bummed that he's not able to be out there, Michael, and participate, still he is in good spirits and simply said, look, I can still learn a lot from these guys just being around and taking it in. But really unfortunate for both of those catchers.
Yep, fracture of the 12th rib for Wells, who can really hit. The only question is, would he be able to catch at the major league level? Is he good enough defensively? IKF fouls away, and the Yankees think he is. He certainly has picked up his proficiency behind the plate. One and two from Weems.
Weems goes the old school way as a catcher. Adams call the pitches. There's no pitch comm. Some guys aren't used to it. Some guys really don't like the pitch comm. They'd rather go the old-fashioned way.
Well, what do you think you would have preferred?
I don't know. I would have to go the old-fashioned way.
With the signs?
Yeah, I wouldn't do the pitch comm.
Also, you just slider.
Yeah, I mix in a fastball every now and then. But I had two different. I used a 1 and a 2, and it was for my fastball, just location-wise. So just so hitters wouldn't pick up any kind of tendencies that I was doing, so they couldn't pick up it, just in case I did decide to throw a fastball.
Popped up. Did you ever marvel or laugh at how much your slider moved? I mean, it was like a freak of nature, like a frisbee.
Sometimes. I remember the first time I threw it. I mean, I used to throw over top in the minor leagues, and I was a big Dennis Eckersley fan, so I wore number 43 because of Dennis Eckersley. So one time in the bullpen in Jacksonville, Double-A for the Mariners, I just went in the bullpen and said, I'm going to start throwing like Dennis Eckersley.
Just as a goof.
Yeah. I said, I'm going to start working on it. And I threw to a guy named Jim Campanis. And he was a catching prospect. His dad was a big executive with the Dodgers back in the day.
Yep.
And I threw him my first slider, and I hit him right in the middle of the chest. He went out to catch it with his glove and hit him right in the middle. He said, don't change.
And a career was born.
Yes. And I used to start, and then I became a reliever. Wish I would have became a reliever a lot sooner.
So it's not like you changed your grip or anything. You just changed your arm angle.
Arm angles.
That little arm angle adjustment got you a couple World Series rings.
Yeah, just a few, yes. Got me to New York.
The 2-1. 2-2.
I used to love pitching at Yankee Stadium as a visitor. When I came in the early 90s before I was a Yankee, I loved old Yankee Stadium. Always had a great mound. I mean, the backstop was far enough away, so it really didn't seem like the hitter was, it seemed like you were right on top of everyone. Well, the fans were right on top of you, and they let you have it every now and then.
Well, you didn't hear it that much because you performed
Always heard
very
everything.
well.
I know, but I mean, if I didn't, you'd still hear it.
Right.
So I'll try to get this in real quick. So I was in Seattle in '95 in the bullpen. The first game during the playoffs in the first division series, we were out in the bullpen. I was warming up. There was no security in those stands at old Yankee Stadium. So I had beer dumped all over me, while I'm warming up, and I got to get ready to go into a game.
That one is ripped to left field, and that ball is going to be off the wall. Played out there by Call, and DJ LeMahieu makes a big turn. He'll head back to first with a 2-out single.
So I was doing something this winter. I don't know where it was, whether it was a fantasy camp or something. You see, it was just a hanger, and DJ just absolutely crushed it with a little slider up. I thought this was getting out of here. Hit off that wall, and this is what you want to see. You want to see DJ stay healthy the whole entire spring of the year because he's one of the Yankees' best hitters, and he'll find his way in that lineup somewhere. There's a long single. He's up with a shot. There was a guy that came up to me, and he said, you know what, after all these years, he said, when I was in college, he goes, you remember that time I was one of the guys that threw beer on you?
Wow.
I'm like, you did? After all these years, the guy comes up and says, yeah, And there was probably like 3 or 4 cups, and I came out. I thought Lou thought I was drinking in the bullpen.
That Lou would think that.
Yeah. He said, my goodness, son, what are you doing down there?
That's a good Lou.
Yeah.
That's a good Lou.
He was great. I was fortunate enough to play for 2 great managers in Joe Torre and Lou Piniella. Loved them both.
Popped up on the right side. The catch is made by Garcia, and that will do it. No runs a hit, no errors, 1 man left. We play 3. It's 1-0 Nats. Tonight, it's the New York Yankees. This is the
Just how much are you looking forward to getting out there?
Yeah, excited to be back out there with the guys. put a lot of work in, so I was just excited to get out there.
You mentioned that work. There was some question with your foot whether or not it would heal on its own. What told you that foot is okay?
Yeah, I mean, I feel really good right now, so hopefully made the right decision, and just got to stay on it. And,
What do you have to do to make sure that that doesn't creep up again?
yeah, just stay on it. Maybe be in the training room a little bit more, and you know, just things that I'm not used to doing, kind of off the field, but just taking care of my body and making sure I'm ready to go.
There are a lot of familiar faces here, but also some additions this offseason. Overall, what do you think of this roster?
Yeah, I mean, super talented as usual. Our staff looks really good. Bullpen starters, and you know, our lineup is dangerous as always.
Where do you expect to get the most playing time this year? What position? Any indication?
I don't know. No, I'm going to every year kind of the same way here, and just wherever I fit in.
Jay, good luck today.
I appreciate it.
All right, that was the interview of the day, brought to you by your local Ford stores. It's so important to what the Yankees do. And you know, when you look at the Yankees series against the Astros last year in the ALCS, one of the problems was they struck out a lot. And the guys who were in that lineup to have bat-to-ball skills, LeMahieu, Benintendi, Carpenter. Carpenter was out for 2.5 months and tried to come back. LeMahieu and Benintendi were out. Not saying that the outcome would have been different, but I don't think it would have been a sweep.
No, I don't think so either, because you lose those two guys, and especially LeMahieu. You know, a good contact hitter in the top of the lineup, probably your best hitter. It was a problem, and that's why I think, you know, Meredith asked him, okay, where do you think you're going to play most in spring? I think that's why it's so important to get Stanton out in the outfield. You're going to need to get LeMahieu off of his feet.
Meneses grounds out to IKF against Loizaga, one away.
And you're going to have to do like most clubs and use that designated hitter as a revolving door. You're going to have to spell him. I mean, you want LeMahieu in the lineup as much as possible, whether it's at third, whether it's at second. You know, maybe you spell Rizzo over there at first base, but I think that's why Stan's got to play in the outfield, or maybe 3-4 times a week.
Here's Garrett. You know, it's such a tightrope that you have to walk. If you play him too much in the outfield, does it affect his legs? But they really feel that when he plays in the outfield, and he feels it too, he's a better player, better hitter. So you got to find a sweet spot there. Lined into center field, it's a base hit. So Stone Garrett with a single.
He did it when he was with the Marlins. I mean, that's when they didn't have a designated hitter in both leagues, so he had to play the outfield. He's capable of doing it. When he came over to the Yankees, it was pretty much, okay, you're going to be a designated hitter because we really don't have a spot for you in the outfield. But now you have to. You know, it almost hamstrings the Yankees if he's a full-time designated hitter.
Mm-hmm. Well, when they acquired him, they did not think of him as a full-time DH. They thought he'd be able to play the outfield. But it hasn't been the case. Here's Vargas. Chopped up the middle. This should be 2. There's 1. And there's 2. That'll do it. No runs, a hit, no errors, and nobody left on base. Let's go to the bottom of the 4th inning. 1-0 Nationals.
There's never
Local tri-state Volkswagen dealers and by citizens made ready. Well, we go to the bottom of the 4th inning on another lovely day in Tampa, Florida. The Montefiore Einstein scoreboard. Washington Nationals 1, New York Yankees nothing. It'll be Rizzo, Stanton, and Donaldson here in the bottom of the inning. Rizzo struck out looking in the 1st inning. Weems in for his 2nd inning of work. Now, I don't know if I've ever told you this, Jeff, but you're one of the reasons that I'm sitting in the yes booth.
Is that right? You got me traded, or
no?
You got me
you left the Yankees in 2000 after the 2000 season. They didn't seem like they wanted you back, and then you signed with the Seattle Mariners. Seattle. So your first return to Yankee Stadium, you're coming out of the bullpen for Seattle, and the entire crowd boos you viciously.
Yeah, 56,000.
Right. So I was doing the radio then with John Sterling, And I said on the radio, I said, wow, that takes a lot of nerve by these fans. This guy helped them win 4 championships. Would you want him to retire if the Yankees didn't want him back? He wanted a job. He goes back to Seattle. As Rizzo lines one to right field to start off the 4th inning. Well, in his car at that time was John Filippelli, the head of Yes. And Yes was just in the germination stage. And he said to himself, if this guy has the guts to say that about Yankee fans, I think I want him when we start this network. Just because you got booed coming out of the bullpen.
Well, I'm glad. You know, I'm glad that worked out for you.
So am I.
I'm glad I got booed by 56,000. And actually, I didn't mind it. It didn't bother me one bit. I remember the exact time when I first came in because Tino Martinez was at second base.
Right.
I played with Tino since the minor leagues back. We both came up together in Seattle and got traded together over to New York. He was on second. He was laughing.
Sin. High fly ball. Onto the track is Garrett. Rizzo tags and draws the throw.
And then Lou, I get to the mound and I put my head down and I was laughing. I didn't want anybody to see me laughing. And Lou handed me the ball. He goes, I see they love you here, son. And it, it kind of eased it.
Right.
It eased all the nerves of coming back.
Right.
And pitching against guys that they were my teammates there for the last 5 years.
Now, I could have understood the boos if, like, you just didn't want to return to the Yankees.
No, they were happy that they were maybe not happy that I didn't come back.
Right.
Hey, I wanted to.
Right.
It
didn't work out.
It just didn't work. It was a business.
Here's Donaldson, runner on first. I want to tell you though, because you played a role and I fought to have you
here
join me here. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Took a long time in the minor leagues to get me here too. Like, my goodness. No, but then I got traded back in '03, and they cheered when I came in.
The way of the world.
Yeah. There is one thing, you see a lot of Yankees and the crossover with the Mets and the Red Sox. And Red Sox and the Mets are great organizations, I'm sure. For me, I had a chance to go to the Mets in '05. I just couldn't do it.
Really?
No, it was just those two teams, and like I said, there's nothing against them. I think they're great organizations and great people there. I just could never see myself as anything but a Yankee.
And you wouldn't have taken an offer from the Red Sox.
They probably weren't giving it to me either, and they didn't.
2-2 to Donaldson. Outside, 3-2. Still plenty of time with a runner on base. Got to be in there with 8 seconds left. Harrison Bader is on deck. Oh, now you see the umpire. This is the umpire's discretion. He is handing the sunglasses that Donaldson was wearing to the ball boy because there was something wrong with the sunglasses. So that stopped the clock and reset. 3-2. Line drive on one hop to Vargas. Goes to second to get the force on Rizzo. 2 away.
You're going to see these teams get creative during the year as far as trying to slow the game down a little bit when it gets a little bit too fast. Say a pitcher struggling a little bit. And one of the things I was thinking about, maybe the bat boys. You know how they go if there's a ball behind the plate. Maybe they run a little slower to go get that ball that's fouled off. Maybe the catchers sometimes now. The catchers don't even move most of the time. If there's a ball just off of them, they'll let the bat boy do it, or somebody come get it. They may wind up getting up.
Bader cracks one to right center field. On the run is Wood, and he can't make the play. That'll be extra bases. Donaldson rounds third. He's coming home. He'll score. Bader gets an RBI triple, and the game is tied at 1.
That looked like a first pitch fastball, and it was up in the zone. And so far in spring training, and hitters are all over the dead red early, and that's what Bader was. A fastball up, just out of the reach of Hill. And there's another situation that Yankee fans are going to get used to, the hustle of Bader. A weed is in there now.
So here's Hicks. And a strike from Weems.
There you see a fastball up. I thought this might have had a chance to get out of there.
Change up, swung on and missed, 0-2. So runner at third with 2 outs, game tied at 1. Yankees are 3-2 in the spring, and the Nationals have played 4 games. They're 2-2. Fouled off the mask of Riley Adams. Now this is an instance where the umpire is giving the catcher some time before starting the clock.
Rather wood. I think I said weed.
Yes.
Wood. Wooden.
Missed outside, 1-2. Bader is at third. Just drove in Donaldson from first. He's a go-ahead run here in the bottom of the 4th inning. It's 1-1. That one gets past the catcher. Here comes Bader. He'll score. It's 2-1 Yankees.
Like a split that Adams just didn't get down in time. Went right between his legs. Right between his legs. Didn't get the glove down in time to block it. Nice job by Bader scoring from third.
Kind of stayed down. I think it skipped off the home plate.
Yeah, as he was expecting a hop. He stayed down.
Up the middle and through for a base hit. I'll tell you what, Jeff, we've done 3 games now, and I believe that we've seen 2 hits by Hicks that would have been outs with shifts. One through the right side, one up the middle where the shortstop would have been playing there.
Yeah, exactly. And, you know, you look at this and look where the second baseman's playing, and there's a base hit up the middle, and that's what we're going to see a lot of, especially from the left-handed hitters. Anthony Rizzo, you see Hick. Need to try to beat the shift. I'm just going to make contact. You know, I don't remember seeing him last year choke up. You know, he took a lot of big cuts.
Now he'll talk things over. That one knocked Weems out. 2-1 Yankees. Will come back.
What are you doing here?
Well, we're going to have the season for you right here on Yes. We thank you for joining us. Hobie Harris will take over on the mound for the Nationals. And he's going to face Kyle Higashioka. 1-0. Hicks is at first. 2 men out. Yankees have taken a 2-1 lead. Fly ball. Center field. Wood is there to make the play, and that'll do it. But the Yankees take the lead. 2 runs, 3 hits, and 1 man left. Let's go to the 5th. It's 2-1 Yanks. For the Nationals, as we go to the 5th inning. 5th inning in spring training means we get a chance to talk to the Yankee manager, Aaron Boone, who's sitting just outside the Yankee dugout. Hi, Aaron. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you guys?
Great. Good-looking sunglasses today. Are these new?
These are my personal sunglasses. My away from the field sunglasses. Tried them out today.
A little Top Gun look. I like it.
You like it? All right.
Yeah. First pitch is fouled away. So what'd you think of Herman? He looked from up here looked pretty good.
Yeah, he gave a couple hard hit balls. You know, Harrison made a great play behind him. I thought his stuff was good. I liked that he had the life on his fastball. The velo was there. as he always does, he's able to spin and change speeds in any count, and that was all there. So I thought it was a crisp outing. We thought he was going to go 2 today, but he was so efficient in that second inning. I sent him back out there for that third, but I thought he was good today.
You know, Booney, with the lefties, with Hicks and Rizzo, I think now that the shift is no longer, it benefits them the most, and we've just seen it in this game. And with Hicks, I don't remember seeing him choke up last year. It was a lot of big swings, him trying to beat the shift. How much of that, how much is this new rule going to help him and maybe help his confidence?
Well, I hope a lot. I mean, his first at bat of the game here the other day was a chopper through that right side, and he almost didn't know how to react. It's a hit he hasn't probably had in 6, 7, 8 years. So that was good to see. You know, Riz, the ball he hit, that might have been right into the 4, you know, where you have the short outfielder there. So hopefully it is something that helps those guys a lot, and for Aaron, something that, you know, comes with some confidence because he's seeing some more balls go through.
You know, I read a comment attributed to you, and it was kind of interesting, Aaron, where you said in the positions that are battles, so shortstop's a battle, left field's a battle, and the number 5 rotation spot is a battle, you do not come in with any preconceived notions. Is that hard not to have just a favorite in your head that could be changed if somebody outperforms that favorite?
Yeah, because I don't want it to be so married to this guy had a better spring. We're trying to choose the right guy, and as I've also tried to get across is we focus on opening day, understandably so. It's a big, important, you know, landmark day. It's exciting, but you know, April 10th could look a lot different, and all of a sudden you have a, you know, go back, you know, to 2018, you know, we broke camp with a certain way, and by, you know, 2 weeks into it, Miguel Andujar's our starting third baseman. In 19, similar, Gio's our starter by a certain point. So we get so enamored with the results a little bit of spring and what it means for opening day that this is a, you know, 6-7 month thing, and we want to have the best guys that give us the best chance to win. So I don't like to marry it to this guy, you know, hit 320 in spring and outdid this guy. We're trying to pick what we think is the best for our team and for those guys as well.
But being a former player, Aaron, obviously being on that opening day roster and being called to the first baseline, that's a big deal for people.
That's why I said I understand it. It is a big deal. It's a landmark day in our sport. It's one of the most important days to me, like going back all these opening days. So it does matter, and performance does matter. What we're going to see here does matter. I'm just saying it's not everything, and we need to keep that in mind as this thing unfolds.
I think you've wired it this way. 3 games, 3 quick 1, 2, 3 innings. It's not right. We have so much more to ask. Thanks, Aaron.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, 4.5 innings of play. We're halfway through. It's 2-1 Yanks. 1 and 2 in the Yankees order, and here's Connor Falefa. He popped up to third in the third. Pitch to Harris is a strike. You know, just getting back to something that Boone said, Jeff, he doesn't want to say he's leaning one way or the other. I think managing in 2023 is a lot different than it was even 15 years ago. These guys are so onto social media. They hear everything that's being said, and you could really set somebody back by saying there's somebody that's a favorite.
Well, you couldn't. I think you look at the postseason that IKF had. You know, there was a few plays that maybe got to him mentally, and that's why you saw Peraza in there.
And I think social media set him back, you know, because he read what fans were saying.
Right.
And also what fans were saying to his dad, which is ridiculously unfair. And I think it got to him.
Yeah, and I guess you can't help it but get to you. And you know, there was an article out, I think, today about, you know, Peraza and how well he looked at shortstop and how it didn't faze him. Looked like he's been there at the big league level for 10 years, and he just was so natural at the position. Nothing got to him. You know, I think he's probably the favorite to win the job. I would like to see him at shortstop. He does add a lot, if not just, you know, on the field, but also at the plate, and he can also run.
Volpe chops one to Abrams and just gets Volpe.
And Volpe's going to be in the mix. He's not on the roster, but, you know, what he's done so far, he's really impressed the Yankees. You know, no matter who's at shortstop, you're going to have to hit. You know, whether it's IKF, whether it's Peraza, whether it's Volpe. I mean, you might see Volpe, he's going to play second. You know, I read a little bit, he might even play third during the spring training. You're going to have to hit. You know, you're not going to have two middle infielders and all of a sudden they're hitting 200. Hey, we're great defense, but they don't bring anything to the plate.
Here's Florial, took over for Judge in right field.
The social media is huge. I mean, these guys are on it. You see, I mean, you read when they switch teams, they're thanking their previous fans, or, you know, thanks a lot for the, you know, this guy Lux for the Dodgers, you know, thanks so much. I mean, he's out for the season with a torn ACL, and he's thanking everybody for the warm wishes. I mean, they're on it all the time. And they read something that the manager says about who they think that's going to be the third baseman, shortstop, left fielder, who's starting, who's going to win the fifth spot. You know, that's tough when you come into camp. I don't care who you are not to think about it.
And down goes Florial as Harris works a 1-2-3 inning, and we go to the sixth. 2-1. Yankees spring training on Yes is presented by your local Ford stores. When it comes to capability, this lineup is game day ready. Ford, official SUV of the Yankees. Gomez, his second inning of work, as he deals inside to start the sixth inning. And rookie, low A and then double A. 49 strikeouts in 47 innings. Faced a minimum 3 batters in the fifth. This is second inning of work.
He's a starter in the Yankee organization at 4 starts at double A Somerset, 10 in high A.
Abrams is 1 for 2. Fly ball to left in the first, single to right in the third. That's 3 hit batters for the Nationals today. Adams, Abrams, and Alex Call in the first inning.
Well, Abrams with good speed over there at first. Like to see if you get a big jump at steal.
Yankees starting 9 now, all officially out of the game. New outfield, Calhoun in left, Dominguez, the Martian in center, Florial in right. Infield, Cabrera, Volpe, Westbrook, and Chaparro. Narvaez behind the plate.
All right, so that's his second time. He stepped off the first one. That counts as a disengagement. Now, if Gomez goes over, he has to get Abrams out. So look for Abrams to get a bigger lead. And almost at this point, don't you think, okay, you got to go. You got to run. You see him, he's almost, that's a huge lead.
Yeah, we've been saying in these 3 broadcasts, you almost seem like you should take that second one and keep it in your pocket. But if you throw 2, you've given the advantage to the runner.
Right, and I think, yeah, in the beginning, he had a little sign mess up with the catcher. He wound up stepping off. And look at the lead by Abrams. Usually you see that 1 foot in that cut, but he gets 2 feet over there sometimes, and it's a big jump.
Down to DeVolpe. There's 1. On to first, not in time. Call can run. So Abrams with speed is replaced by Call, who has great speed.
Great play by Volpe over there. Good feed. Just Westbrook could not get a handle on the ball. You see, nice little move. Right there, they used that bigger base and just couldn't get a handle on that ball to get a good throw over to first base. To me, I just don't understand. If you've gone over there twice or used 2 disengagements, how's the runner not running and using that to his advantage, especially when you got speed like Abrams?
Well, the fact that you can still throw over, but you have to get him, I guess that's the one thing in the back of their mind. They can't just run with impunity. This guy's thrown over to first more than any pitcher we've seen in the 3 games we've done.
And he's used to this.
Yes.
In the minor leagues, being an A-ball, high A and double A last year.
Now, he's not throwing over on his own. Those throws over are always called from the bench. So they're testing things out as well, see how much they can push it.
And the pitcher's going to have to do some different things with the pitch clock, vary their times to the plate. Also, slide step. You're going to have to give the catcher, I think the new rules might hurt the catcher just a little bit. You're going to have to slide step to give him a little bit better chance to throw the runner out at second.
Fly ball left field. And it falls between Calhoun and Dominguez. And Call is going to advance to third. Moving to second is Garcia. I don't know if that was lost in the sun or what. That certainly seemed like it was up there a while and seemed to be catchable, but neither one could get it.
You watch it, it's a fastball upstairs and it's hit to left center field, and Calhoun is just staring at Dominguez, and I don't know if anybody would have got that, but looked like not a great effort, but I don't think that would have been caught.
So that brings up Meneses with runners on second and third. Yankees keep the infield back. They lead by 1. We're in the 6th inning. Only one in is the first baseman, Chaparro. Calls at third. Garcia's at second. Ground ball to Volpe. He's going to go to third. Has the runner hung up. Garcia's tagged out. One scores, and it's going to be a double play as the Nationals ran right into 2. But the run does score. Call scores from third, and the game is tied at 2.
Yeah, you look at this, and this is base running by the guy at second. The ball's right in front of him. He should have held. Nice job by the Yankees, and great job by Volpe to get to second base.
That's running into a DP, and the run does score.
When the prize is our future.
On the Yes app, catch a new episode of Home Plate New York featuring Yankee center fielder and New York native Harrison Bader. Stream it anytime exclusively on the Yes app. Check out other recent Home Plate episodes on the Yes app with Hideki Matsui, Tracy McGrady, and Damon John of Shark Tank fame. 2-2, we go to the bottom of the 6th. That is scored a fielder's choice double play. 6-5, 4-6 to get out of further trouble. Here's Cabrera to lead off. Evan Lee next up for the Nationals. Lined a base hit over the head of the shortstop. A leadoff single for Cabrera.
Now you love to see that. That's one thing. He had 247 last year for the Yankees. Played all over. He's so valuable as a utility guy. Gets a fastball down and in and just punches it into left field, and that's what you want to see. You want to see him hit. He can play everywhere, and defensively he's pretty solid at every position. He just has to swing the bat a little bit.
So here is Jake Bauers. First game action for Giancarlo Stanton. He was 0 for 2, hit a ball really hard off of the starter Corey Abbott in the second, and then a fairly deep fly ball to right field in the 4th. 0 for 2. 1-1.
That's what the Yankees will do early. These guys, like I mentioned earlier, they came in on the 20th of February, a full squad workout, and all of a sudden you have a game about 10 days later. You'll see these guys, especially the starting 9 get a couple at bats the first few games, and later in the spring they'll start seeing 3 and 4.
Curveball smash foul down the right field line. Grounded to second. There's one. No return. When you became a veteran in the big leagues and you saw young guys come up,
blew them off.
That I can assume, but could you tell right away this guy's going to be great? I mean, does it click?
You could. You know, one of those guys was when Alex Rodriguez came to us, and when he signed out of high school, I was in Seattle, and I remember he came to the Kingdome, and he was hitting balls the opposite way. He looked like a young Juan Gonzalez. Juan Gonzalez played for Texas. You could tell that he was going to be a star.
So some guys just jump out at you.
Some guys really jump out at you. And I think with Dominguez and Volpe with the Yankees, they jump out at you. Peraza, Cabrera. You know, these kids, especially these 4, they don't look like young players. They don't look like they're overwhelmed. I mean, I played with Ken Griffey Jr. in the minor leagues, and that was a no-brainer. Spring training is tough in a way because you have the pitchers, and the pitchers are all together. It's almost like towards the end of spring when all of a sudden you start weeding some guys out and you start guys go down, and you're starting to get closer to your full squad or what the squad's going to look like.
Mejia makes the play. 2 down to retire Chaparro.
That's when you start, learning or getting to know everyone, because you're so separated. You have the position players, they're on one field, they're doing what they're doing. Pitchers are doing what we're doing. The only time you're together is if you're playing in game situation.
Well, here's a guy people have looked at. Dominguez. Been in the Yankee system for a while still. This is not Dominguez. I apologize. He's in the lineup, but he's not up now. This is Calhoun. They did not switch straight up. Apologize. Dominguez is on deck. We'll have to talk to Aaron Boone about switching straight up.
Yes, that helps us out.
All right, so here's the money question, Jeff. You're on the Yankee team in '96. You got traded over. Young kid playing shortstop in spring training. Did you see greatness there in Jeter?
You did, and again, towards the end, when all of a sudden you started mixing in together more as a team, because everybody was so separated, and me being a Yankee for the first time, you're trying to fit in, and they got you for a reason, so trying to impress. But yeah, I mean, you instantly saw, I guess, greatness. Derek Jeter was probably one of the smartest players I've ever played with. As far as knowing exactly where to be, knowing what to do with the baseball. And as a rookie, you're looking for a lead. You didn't expect a leader, but everybody followed this guy. Every time he stepped between the lines, it was like this guy, he played as hard as he could. He expected to win every single time. And there wasn't a veteran guy who was going to let this guy outplay you. I mean, you're going to let a rookie try to outplay you?
0-1 on Dominguez. Switch hitter batting from the right side.
But I remember in that '95 season and Rivera coming up, and when I was in Seattle, you talking about someone that you knew was going to be great. Just listening to our hitters, the hitters on the Mariners, I mean, they said that we're glad that he didn't pitch in the postseason or not very much, because the Yankees probably would have went on to the ALCS that year.
Well, they didn't know what they had really in Rivera at that point.
Right.
Otherwise, he might have pitched to Doug Strange and not David Cone.
Exactly.
2-2 because David was running on fumes at that point.
And I know our hitters were happy about it. They said if Rivera came in, we probably would have lost this game.
You guys seem to definitely have the number of John Wetland, though.
Yeah, all year, too.
Yeah. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Dominguez down on strikes. And that'll do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and 2 men left on base. Sailing along in Tampa. 2-2 as we go to the 7th. MLBshop.com. Check out the largest selection of authentic caps, t-shirts, collectibles, and more. Gear up with your Yankees at MLBshop.com. 7th inning. Montefiore Einstein scoreboard shows us 2-4-0 for the Nats and 2-5-0 for the Yanks. Gomez in for his 3rd inning of work. Sun-splashed afternoon in Tampa. Nice crowd on hand at George M. Steinbrenner Field.
Did they not give Donaldson an error in that one?
I would think they had to, but I guess they gave Hill a single there. Ground ball to Chaparro. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the 7th. Yeah, there is no error on the board. Here's Jake Alou. Fly ball left center. Dominguez drifts over, makes the play. Has the same color glove as Harrison Bader. Israel Pineda at the plate. The 0-1.
See, Gomez has a really good fastball, 95, 96. Another good young starter in the Yankee organization.
Blocked by Narvaez. Grounded up the middle and through for a base hit.
Well, we've done 3 games. What do you think so far? The rules, the no shift?
You know what? I like them. I like the rule. The only new rule that I'm not like totally in lockstep with is the ghost runner. In extra innings, I don't like.
Yeah, I agree with you. And then you're going to see a lot of that. You know, base hits up the middle. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the guy on second base to start extra innings. I almost would like, if they want to do it and not see 18 innings or 20 innings, maybe 3 innings of let's see what the teams do.
Right.
And then maybe add the guy on second.
And one of the reasons that you hear is, you know, teams don't want to compromise their bullpen, and I understand that. I do. But when there's an 18-inning game played, that's all everybody's talking about the next day. it thrills fans. It does.
Right.
To figure out what the team's going to do. How are they going to deploy the bullpen in order to get through all these innings? But now, runner at second base starts the 10th.
Maybe ride your starter a little longer.
Mm-hmm.
Don't take him out with 90 pitches. Let him go 110. They're capable.
It's going to make the seats. I don't want to be that guy, though, sitting in the lawn chair, barking up at the clouds. Bring on the change. Game needs a little tweaking. I love the game, but it needs a little tweaking, so I like all these things.
Well, every sport does it to try to make it better or more interesting for the fans. Now, as a broadcaster, the guy on second base, at least you know it's not going 18.
But I don't mind broadcasting 18-inning games. I think it's fascinating, but that's the old-time fan in me. The only guy I used to feel badly for in the extra inning games, is when you bring in a pitcher, a young pitcher, and he throw 3 innings, 4 innings, and he's useless, and they send him down. That's awful.
Yeah.
I get why that is good for those guys, that you don't have those long games, but swing and a miss. That'll do it. No runs a hit, no errors, and 1 man left at the end of 6.5. It's time for the 7th inning stretch. Yankees 2 and the Nationals 2, but we'll stay right here as they honor America in Tampa, Florida.
Ladies and gentlemen, today the New York Yankees Armed Forces. So please direct your attention to the Yankees first base dugout and welcome Commander Darrell Adams of the United States Navy. Commander Adams served for 30 years and was Deputy Director for the Office of Naval Intelligence for the United States Special Operations Command. Commander Adams is our New York Yankees military honoree of the game. And the Yankees say thank you to all of our brave men and women for their service and sacrifices for our nation. Now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask you to remove your caps for the playing of God Bless America.
Whoa! DraftKings. Look at all these blackjack games. You got Spanish 21.
Spring training is brought to you by our good friends at Ford. Well, we go to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's a 2-2 game. Domingo Germán started this game for the Yankees, and he is downstairs with Meredith Marakovitz right now.
Thanks, Michael. Domingo, you find yourself competing for that 5th spot in the rotation. Does that at all change the way you approach this spring training?
¿Cambia algo, entendiendo que estás compitiendo por ese puesto número 5 en la rotación? ¿Cambia algo tu entrenamiento?
Bueno, en realidad no ha cambiado nada. Simplemente estoy tratando de hacer el mismo trabajo de siempre. No estoy tratando de hacer más, tampoco de menos, pero sí trato de encajar siempre en uno de los favoritos de la rotación.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do anything different, you know. I don't want to do too much, too little. Just trying to follow my plan of getting ready for the season, and yeah, just trying to establish myself as a favorite there for that spot. Yeah.
Is it difficult to block that out though?
Es difícil, tú sabes, bloquear eso y no concentrarte en eso, solamente enfocarte en tu trabajo.
No, no es difícil. Cuando tú estás preparado mentalmente para una cosa, se torna fácil. Y lo primordial es que ellos saben el tipo de lanzador que soy, ellos saben cómo desenvolverme. Simplemente debo de enfocarme más en el plan de ataque de que lleve ese día en el juego.
Yeah, I mean, it's not that it's easy, but at the same time, they know what kind of pitcher I am. And to me, it's just to focus on what I need to do. Over the years, they've seen the quality of the pitches and how I execute pitches. So for me, it's about executing those pitches and just focus on getting ready to execute.
What did you think of the execution today? Were you pleased with your performance?
¿Cómo tuvo la ejecutación hoy de los lanzamientos? ¿Encontraste que todo estuvo bien?
Estuve bien excelente. Para hacer la primera salida estuve muy excelente. Pude ejecutar cada lanzamiento que quería y lo primordial de la salud. Mientras te sientes en salud, todo es posible.
Yeah, I felt really good. It's the first one. Very pleased with the execution today. And honestly, health it's key for me. So very happy today.
You mentioned health. You had some shoulder issues. Did you at all change your training program to try to make sure you stay healthy for an entire year?
Y mencionaste la lesión del hombro. ¿Cómo pudiste prepararte? ¿Qué cambios tuviste que hacer durante la temporada muerta para asegurarte de que estuvieras saludable y fuerte para arrancar este campeonato?
Bueno, fue mucho el enfoque. Estuve entrenando con Nicole de Gravier, una entrenadora que tiene muchos jugadores de la MLB, así igual como fútbol, es una buena entrenadora ella, y tuvo la oportunidad de conocerla. Ella me dio una buena preparación física y de verdad lo he notado ese cambio drásticamente.
During the off-season, the plan was to work on the shoulder and get it as strong as possible. I met a trainer, Nicole de Graviel, and she was really good. We worked the entire off-season, focusing on making sure that my shoulder was strong, that it was in a good position for a long baseball season, including the rest of the body as well.
Domingo, Marlon, I appreciate the time.
Thank you.
Send it back up to you, Michael.
Thank you, guys. Thank you, Meredith. So Domingo Germán got the start, battling for that 5th spot in the rotation. Anthony Volpe at the plate, count 0-2.
Yeah, Germán did a nice job. Struck out 3 2 1/3, gave up an unearned run. Didn't walk a guy. He works quick. I don't think the pitch clock is going to bother him. He mixes it up really well. His fastball, curveball change really doesn't get in one pattern with any of those pitches. Throws them about equally. And I guess it's just a matter of who they like better coming out of the bullpen, whether it's Schmidt or Germán.
And they think Schmidt with that cutter does translate to starter now. He could face more batters, face left-handed batters, and not really be weaponless against them. The cutter really worked when we saw him in his first start.
And that's something that he can throw the rest of the spring and work on, especially against the lefties.
See Volpe's numbers in the minors last year, also stole 50 bags. Now, Jeff, if Volpe becomes the player that the Yankees hope that he's going to become, and all the scouts say he's one of the top prospects in baseball, you think he's still sporting 77? Because high numbers now seem to be the thing because of Judge.
It doesn't matter anymore. It used to, if you had a high number, you knew, okay, my time in spring training is short.
As he goes down on strikes, Yankees go down in order 1-2-3 against Romero. We'll go to the 8th. It's 2-2 right here on Yes.
The military, for me, had become my life. There's nobody to relate to back home, so you're alone. And that's the worst feeling in the world. And that's when I found Wounded Warrior Project. I like to say that they saved my life, but it took some time for me to actually realize that I'm worth it. And that's the biggest thing. You have to realize you're worth it.
Every 2 minutes, a woman in the U.S. is diagnosed with breast cancer. And in that moment, her life changes forever. The toll is great. The need is greater. The need to find comfort in the dark hours. The need to find hope in the cures. And that's why when others look away, we lean in. We're fighting alongside patients because we know one moment can change everything. But we need your help to make more moments of hope possible. Join our fight, save lives, because we are all stronger together.
What's up, everybody? This is Chef Marcus Sampson from Home Plate, New York. I'm here with Godzilla himself, Hideki Matsui. Oma with Godzilla, that's a good lunch.
The Grand Slam is easier.
It was my dream to wear the pinstripes. I came to New York to win a championship.
Chef Marcus Samuelsson hosts an all-new Home Plate New York, streaming now exclusively on the S app. Presented by Tullamore Dew Irish Whiskey.
Today, following the game, stay tuned to Yes to see Michael Kay, Don LaGreca, and Peter Rosenberg offer their opinions. They have many of them. And analysis of all the local teams, plus an entertaining look at the day's headlines with ENN. Watch the Michael Kay Show today after the Yankees game on Yes. And you're heading right over there, right?
That's right.
I love watching you guys.
You do. You're one of
Every
our...
once in a while I'll text you.
Yeah, you're one of our key listeners. One pitch, one out. As we start the 8th, Ryan Weber saw time with the Yankees last year in 5 games. Actually pitched well at AAA, a 3.86 ERA.
He's a journeyman. He's been around a long time. Doesn't really throw hard, but mix it up, throw about the whole kitchen sink at hitter. What's on the agenda today for the Michael Kay Show?
Always, worried about where Aaron Rodgers is going. That's key.
I see you're doing this stuff on Instagram now. When did that start? Was that something?
About a week ago.
Okay.
Yeah. We had our producer, Troy Benjamin, on there today with us.
Oh, you did?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Big hit. 2 away.
I think I saw the one yesterday with the hoodie. A little scary.
That was the intent. Well, today's big. It's Would You Wednesday.
Oh, would you?
I present these. Would you? Would you do this? Would you do that?
Nice. Rodgers going to the Jets.
Would I do that? If I was the Jets, I would. If he wants to.
Would you is something like you played in high school.
Yeah, yeah.
Different way.
No, it's the same way. Just cleaned up a bit.
You actually do that in the bullpen every now and then.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Not so clean.
All right, so if you could return to form and be able to pitch in the big leagues at the level that when you were great, would you cut off your earlobe?
Yes.
You would? Yeah. Really?
What do you need an earlobe for?
Earrings.
I'm a guy. I don't wear them.
Some do.
Some do, yeah. There's nothing wrong with it. Yeah. I just don't wear them. Take both of them if they want.
You like pitching that much? David Cohn always tells me it's a hard life to give up.
For somebody if you ask someone and they say, oh, do you miss it? And they say no.
They're not telling the truth.
Yeah, you always miss it. You just know you can't do it anymore.
Ryan Weber with a 1-2-3 inning. Jeff with 1 fewer earlobe. We'll go to the bottom of the 8th.
So
Well, this copyrighted telecast presented by authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. Giancarlo Stanton, his first action in a spring training game was today, had 2 at-bats, and now his toughest assignment is talking with Meredith.
Well, I think we can argue that that is not true, Michael. But, you know, when you look at this roster, Giancarlo, what excites you most heading into this season?
Just seeing us all out there, full capacity, and the last year's kind of, it wasn't our full go too many times. So I think just seeing everyone out there and run it back to back to back and see what we can do.
What is this team capable of if they're able to stay healthy, both the offense and the team as a whole?
Best in the league. We're the best team when we got everyone out there at all cylinders, and we got to go and show that.
How did you feel today?
I felt good. I saw the ball well. I put 2 pretty good swings on it, so good first day.
What will your progression be like this spring training? When will you start incorporating some outfield?
Within a week or so, I think I'll be out there, get some innings under my belt, and get us rolling.
What have the conversations been like with Aaron Boone? He had mentioned maybe a little left field, maybe a little right field this year.
Yeah, whatever's best for our situation. We'll have all of our outfielders and guys are going to need breaks, so we just file in and figure out what's going to help us be the best.
What type of year do you think Aaron Judge is going to have coming off the monstrous year he had a season ago?
No reason he can't continue where he left off. He's just as focused, just as ready to go as last year and any other year before that. So, he's going to be fun to watch.
I noticed a guy that has been a part of a lot of Yankees championship teams hanging out with you guys in the outfield a little bit in Bernie Williams. Do you enjoy when some of these former players come back, and what do you take away from that, from talking to him?
Yeah, it's awesome. A lot of success, a lot of great years out of him, and it's just cool to get his perspective. Cool to see the excitement that he has still of being around the game and helping us out any way he can.
Do you have any personal goals this season you'd like to share with us?
Just help us be the best. If I'm out there, it's a better situation for everybody.
Giancarlo, thanks for the time.
Thank you.
Send it back to you, Michael.
Thank you, Meredith, and thank you, Giancarlo, as Cabrera fouls it off. He's important. Obviously, missed some time last year with injuries. You keep him healthy, and Jeff, I think you sign up for 140 games from him.
Right. He's very important, and I think it's very important for him to see some outfield time like he mentioned. You're going to have to use that designated hitter spot as a revolving door, especially to try to keep LeMahieu in the lineup, get him off his feet every once in a while. There's violation.
First violation, yeah, first one. So that's a ball.
And you get 140 games out of Giancarlo Stanton, 50-plus home runs. It was interesting when Meredith asked him the question about, what do you think Judge can do next year after this year after what he did last year. I remember reading what Stanton said to him about after the year that he hit 59, that he went in and he started thinking that, I gotta try to top that. And It's like I can't be living in the past. I said I have to forget what I did last year. I may never be able to repeat last year's stats.
It's going to be interesting simply because of the fact if you hit 45 home runs, and here's that violation, clock winding down, and Perez taking his time. And there, out. Now, the reason the umpire knows that, he sees the clock in center field, but there's also a pack on his belt that vibrates.
Right. And a lot of them, they say they might have something on their wrist. It doesn't look like he has anything on his wrist, the home plate umpire.
Anyway, I was saying about Judge, if somebody hits 45 home runs, that's a great year.
It's a great year.
Now, if he hits 45 home runs, all of a sudden it's 17 fewer than he had last year, and you would hope that people will say, well, that's a bad year. 62 is an otherworldly, once-in-a-lifetime year.
Well, hopefully nobody expects that. If the fans or anybody else expects him to hit 62 or 63 or even 60, there's no way. I'm not saying there's no way, but that's tough to do. I would love to see, like Stan said, the whole lineup stay healthy all year. I mean, you have Rizzo could hit into the 40s. You have Stanton could hit in the 50s. Judge hit in the 50s. I mean, they led the major leagues in home runs last year. They're going to do it again this year.
And they expect more home runs from Donaldson and full season of Bader. You know, he had 5 home runs in the playoffs last year. So if you get a rejuvenated Hicks, you can get more homers. So there's certainly potential there for more as a team. Here's Chaparro. And a strike.
Get some of these kids up. You know, we were talking before in between innings about, you know, it could be a scenario where you see Peraza at short, Volpe at second.
Runner goes, throw to second, got him. Bowers doesn't think so, but the second base umpire, Vic Peraza, does. No runs, no hits, no errors, and because of caught stealing, nobody left. We'll go to the ninth. On a beautiful day, nary a cloud in the sky. Ryan Weber in for his second inning of work. He worked a 1-2-3 eighth inning.
You know, we were talking about it with Volpe and Peraza, just the future of what the Yankee fans could see. Base stealing, something that they haven't had a speedster at the top of the line or speedsters. You know, I mean, they don't. You know, analytics measures a lot. It doesn't measure the pressure that it puts on a pitcher when you have a guy that can run on the bases.
The one thing analytics measures is they don't want you to give away an out on the base paths. Now with the 4.5 inches closer than ever before in the big leagues, I think the percentages will be higher, so they'll allow more running.
Right, and you know, you get guys like a Volpe or Peraza or a IKF in front of some of the RBI guys and Judge and Stanton and Rizzo. A lot more opportunities to score runs.
Mejia pops it up. Volpe in shallow center makes the play. Did you see the picture from the Somerset Patriots where he played last year, Yankee system? His family got them a picture. He's maybe 5 or 6, and he's standing there having just shook hands with Derek Jeter.
Really?
Yeah, it's so amazing.
Did they put it on Twitter?
Yeah, it was on Twitter today, yeah. Just phenomenal. Blankenhorn. It's run down by Dominguez. 2-way.
Nice jump by Dominguez out there, battling the sun. Well, that was like one of Todd Frazier when Tom's River won the Little League World Series and came to Yankee Stadium, stood next to Jeter.
And the Ottavino picture when he was a kid getting an autograph from David Cohn at one of the Yankee Fan Fests.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Wow.
And David was wearing one of those then popular, not now,
Coogis?
sweaters. Yeah, Coogis, yeah. This is Donovan Casey. One and two. Good for an organization to have a guy like Ryan Weber. Keep him in the minors, let him start. Somebody gets hurt, he can come up. He's not going to embarrass you. He's going to give you a representative outing.
And there's a few times last year he gave the Yankees a good solid 5.
Yep. That's valuable to have.
Doesn't have overpowering stuff, throws strikes, works quick.
Grounded to first. And Weber, 2 perfect innings. Can the Yankees win it in the bottom of the 9th? Stay tuned.
Into the 3rd, had a good breaking ball, a little strikeout right there, another hanger, but it was good enough. And then this is what he needs to do, is lock up the lefties with a great fastball. 2 in the 3rd, only gave up the 1 hit, the 1 unearned run with 3 strikeouts, and did not walk a batter.
All right, it's 2-2, bottom of the 9th inning. Yankees could walk it off here. Chaparro was at the plate when Bowers was thrown out trying to steal, so he gets a fresh count to start off the bottom of the inning. You see what he did in 71 games last year. The number's pretty good. Great OPS of 962. Gerardo Carrillo, the pitcher. Seventh pitcher used by Davey Martinez in the Nationals. Pitch high.
He called that a strike. That was up and in.
0-2. Check swing, fouled away. Soft ground ball is short. Valera. One down.
With the Nationals being from West Palm, that 4-hour drive, do they stay over on the east or the west side and play a few teams, or they go back and forth?
It would seem to make sense to stay over because that is a long bus ride. The Yankees used to be on the East Coast in Fort Lauderdale.
Right.
They trained there through '95, and it just became tough to schedule games. There aren't that many teams on the East Coast. Calhoun, right back to the pitcher. 2 away. Be interesting to see, would they call it a tie, or would they decide? It's up to the managers to decide whether or not to play an extra inning. Yeah.
I know the Yankees go to the East Coast. I think they play the Astros towards the end of spring.
I think Boone's out of sunflower seeds too, so you would think that this is it.
Yeah. One bag's enough.
So here is Jason Dominguez. He struck out in his first at bat.
A little walk-off.
Why not? Let's get excited. Switch hitter from the left side against the righty. 1-1. Dominguez has opened some eyes. Obviously, the Yankees know what a prospect he is, but just the way he comports himself, the way he works, and that's a way to call attention to yourself in a good way at spring training, because they see you all the time, how you interact with teammates, how you prepare for the game, and they like what they've seen so far.
20 years old. He's impressed me. You know, just watching these young kids in spring training. They're not overwhelmed. They're not overwhelmed by the situation or being in a big league game, whether it's spring training or not. They look like they belong.
Three and two.
It's not easy for him, knowing that there's not really a spot for Dominguez unless someone gets injured or Volpe. I mean, and Volpe's going to compete for the shortstop job. Not saying it's not a spot, but knowing that what's in front of you, it makes it tougher. And they go out and like the job's theirs.
And he works a walk. You know, you never know how you would deal with it, but I get the sense that if I was a young player in spring training and I want to impress people, nobody would get there earlier than me, and nobody would ever leave until I'd be the last one there, just so they knew this guy's always around.
Right.
To the point that I would annoy people. Because you don't want to punch a clock when you're 20 years old.
No, you're right. You want to show everyone that you're going to be there and take a job.
Narvaez lofts one right side. Any room? Nope. Blankenhorn's arm's not long enough.
Well, from what I understand, Volpe's that type of player.
Yeah. I'd be like the basketball player that has the key to the gym.
Could be friends with the janitor.
Absolutely. That was the story of St. John's Chris Mullin. He was there all the time shooting. Shot himself into the Hall of Fame. 0-2.
I wonder how tough that is when a manager, you won the World Series a few years ago, and now going through a rebuild. Seeing some of your top players leave, get traded away.
I think it's tougher to go through if you haven't won the World Series.
Right.
But, I mean, it's quite a fall. I mean, that was a loaded team. And then to lose Juan Soto. Fly ball, right field. Did he get enough? See ya! A walk-off two-run home run by Narvaez, and the Yankees win this one 4-2. They ended in dramatic fashion, an opposite field blast, and they go home a winner.
Well, we wanted a walk-off. We thought it was going to be Dominguez, but Narvaez, how about that? Opposite field, gets a fastball upstairs. Another young kid showing the Yankee coaching staff what he can do. Hey, we're 3-0.
We are. In one game we didn't do, they lost 12-0.
Right. There you see it. Fastball was supposed to be in. It was up and out over the plate. Carries well there in Florida.
Just over the leaping try of Garrett.
How about the lady out there just over the wall?
That hurt her hand. It was Casey who gave it a shot, and it was in her hands and she dropped it. But it's still a home run. As the Yankees walk it off. Another victory. They're now